All right, everybody. Another big opening there. We're on tonight. We made it. Magnolia, our backstage crew. Her name is Magnolia. Magnolia Garrett. We call her Noli. She pulled it off. Alex was there. Alex was stressed out, right? We were all holding our breath. It was very exciting. In these quarantine days of very little excitement inside the house, that was the most exciting thing I've felt for about 24 days now. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Hey, welcome tonight. We're glad to have you here. Have a great show for you tonight. Have a big group tonight. Have Alex Zubler, been working all day on just kind of minimalist art background. His background there. That's not virtual. That's real. That placement of the phone.
It takes a lot of work to curate a background like this. Yeah, the shades, I had to pull those down. The phone, I just left that right where it was. That was well thought through. It was all intentional.
It was, and frankly, if I looked like you, Alex, I wouldn't put any background behind me either. I probably wouldn't even be wearing a shirt. That's the bottom line there. So we have Wade Harris with us, who is one of our co-hosts and our CEO of Pure Freeman Born to Be Brave. Welcome, Wade.
Yeah, we actually had to have Alex put a shirt on before you got here tonight because he didn't think he necessarily needed to, but it was good to have him get one on.
Nice. We have Matt and Nick Rigner. They're bringing a special segment tonight. Matt is the head of the Born to Be Brave ministry right now. He is. I shouldn't say right now, but he's become that. And it sounded bad. And his son Nick is here. They've been spending a lot of time working up a special segment. What's it about tonight, Matt? Just a little brief thing. Or what's it about, Matt and Nick?
Well, Nick, why don't you tell them what it's about?
It's about duct tape.
Duct tape.
Nothing more manly.
There you go, duct tape.
Fixes anything.
Yep.
All right, and things you can do with duct tape. And last but not least, Andy and Jack Milan, who've joined us. Very cool people. Jack's been to a few Born to Be Braves, and they are. That is not a virtual background, right, Andy?
It's not. No, we're sitting in my garage, so we're just here. Got a couple cars behind us. We're excited about this quarantine episode.
Jack, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
I saw what Matt Rigner said was the best father and son portrait we've ever seen. Do we have that tonight? We're going to show that later on. We saw that and we're very envious that we didn't have a shot like that. I almost got my son back together just to get in front of my Honda Pilot just to try that out, but I didn't think it would work. So, Wade, we have some chat questions tonight, right?
We do. We want to start out tonight with a great chat question. We got the cars behind Andy there. We saw the car on the opening slide. So what is everyone's favorite car? So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, if you can put your favorite car in the chat there. I remember when I was growing up, I had this Matchbox car of an RX-7. I had no idea even what an RX-7 was, but Matchbox made it look so cool that was like my dream car. For the longest time, I was like, I just want an RX-7 because I had that Matchbox car. The power of Matchbox. But Andy, I think you have a couple of your semi-favorite cars behind you there, right?
Yeah. We have some Matchbox cars too, but behind me, I got a 72 Ford pickup and a 1954 Packard.
Oh, that's cool. Jack and Nick. Did Jack and Nick, do you know what Matchbox cars are? Are they still around?
Oh yeah, I collect them.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I have around 100.
Do they still have those tracks that you go through, those spongy things? Do they still have those?
Yeah.
That's cool. We should have those on the highways. That would be awesome.
Brandon said his favorite car is a 68 Camaro.
A 68 Camaro.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
So there's some kids on here, R. Willis, that agree with me with the RX-7, the original one from the early 80s. Or no, the dad and his boys say a Lamborghini.
That's not bad. Lamborghini's not bad. Not bad at all.
Alex, how about you? What's your favorite?
My favorite car?
If we gave you a huge raise tomorrow, what would you go buy?
You buy food.
I go to Chipotle, buy a few burritos. I'd say if you guys gave me a raise tomorrow, I'd probably go buy a 92 Ford F-250. nice bright red. I used to have one of those and I loved it, but I sold it.
Bright
And-
red, Bob.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool. I like the old Thunderbirds. I'm not sure what year they are. The classic Thunderbird. I've always kind of wanted one of them, and a 1980 yellow Volkswagen Rabbit, which was my first car. That's not cool to go to college in a yellow 4-door diesel 1980 Volkswagen Rabbit named Elvira. That was not. That is not what. Anyway, it's all
upgraded
about
in
the inner
college, though,
things.
right?
It's about the inner things of the
Upgraded.
heart. What's that?
You upgraded in college, didn't you?
I did. I got a 1981 Toyota Supra, beautiful car, and got a beautiful wife from it. She denies it, but I had no dates in that Rabbit. I pulled up in that car with the headlights popping up, and with a face like this, I got more dates than I deserved. Let's put it that way. All right. Alex, you have been out and about on our live segment team. It's not a live segment, but you were out with Austin, our videographer. And
Yes.
what did you see out there? What do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, so a little while back, Austin, he's the guy holding the camera in all of our videos. He does a great job. His dad had a pretty sweet car that I went and looked at. And you'll see here in a little bit, we actually have a video of it. And that was probably the coolest car I've ever ridden in. But I won't say anything else. So Noah, can you go ahead and roll that video? All right, hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here, and today we have a very special guest, and he's actually the father of our cameraman. So you never get to see him, but Austin is the one who's always behind the camera shooting these videos for us, and this is his dad, Ed. And Ed has a pretty nice car here. And he's gonna show us a couple of things, how he takes care of it, and just things that you guys can kind of do at home. You know, take care of your own cars. You know, get with your dad and go out and whatever car you have, kind of do the same stuff. Thanks for doing this, by the way. Yeah. So Ed, why don't you go ahead and show us around?
Sure.
What kind of car is this?
This is a 1968 Camaro. It's been fully restored. It has a massive big block in it.
Wow.
A tunnel ram with two 4-barrels on it. It's a 454 board and stroke, meaning board, it has bigger pistons, stroke, it has a longer piston stroke. So you get more power out of the same motor.
Okay. Yeah, that engine looks like about twice the size of the one in my truck. So.
Yeah, it's made to go fast, but the key here is only on a straight line at the drag strip.
What kind of maintenance do you do?
Typically, it doesn't get washed very often because it doesn't come out in the rain very often.
Sure.
With this kind of power on wet roads is not a good idea.
Yeah.
But as far as maintenance on the motor and the transmission, oil change every year. And every time before I go out, I go over the whole car mechanically, make sure there's no fuel leaks, make sure all the belts are nice and tight, make sure all the header bolts are tight, and all the spark plugs are plugged in good and tight so that there's no misfiring.
Yeah.
Look for leaks, any signs of leaks, whether there's fuel, coolant, transmission fluid. If there is, you're not going anywhere. You have to figure out what it is. One thing I always like to do is check the air pressure in the tires.
Yeah.
And I can tell from sitting all winter, this tire's very low. Now, I have a tire gauge here. This will tell me how many pounds of air pressure's in there. All tires have on here somewhere recommended manufacturer pressure. So you need to find those numbers. I just right up in here.
Gotcha.
32 pounds. So we're only at 28, but it just looks low. So we're gonna put some air. If you put too much air in, your ride will be very stiff and your tires will wear prematurely. Not enough air, your tires will be squishy and you won't feel safe. There we go, 34, I'm good with that.
All right.
So that's how you do the air in the tires. For the oil, there's a dipstick that comes on every motor in every old car. Newer cars don't even have these anymore. But you pull this out and you want to read, and it's pretty clean, but you can tell we're right at the add mark. The transmission, it's an automatic. That is this dipstick back here. This transmission, you have to check the fluid with the engine running. Obviously right now it's not, but you pull it out And it also shows you where the fluid must be between these two lines. Fluid in the radiator, first thing, if you've been running the car, always squeeze your hose. If you can't squeeze it, that means you have pressure. You can't take this cap off, it'll blow off.
Okay.
But in this case, it hasn't been run enough to make it hot, so we can take this cap off safely.
Gotcha.
Push down, turn counterclockwise, remove cap, and you can see it's about 1.5 inches down. That's a little low, but it's not bad.
All right, guys. Well, Ed's gonna go ahead and start it up. We're gonna take a look at this monster. So yeah, Ed, you wanna hop in there?
Very good.
That thing purr.
Hey guys, so we're inside the car now. This car's a standard transmission, right?
No, this is an automatic.
Oh, it is an automatic.
Yeah.
Oh.
It just looks like a standard.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Okay.
I'll show you how this works.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was just gonna say, if you could show us, because this is it's a lot more knobs than I've ever seen in an automatic.
Well, what this is it's called Kill Duff Shifters. It's a guy from California that makes these. And what it's for is when you're on the track, it's very nice to be able just to grab gears and not have to manually shift them yourself and hope you don't miss a gear. This button here is for a device called a line lock. What this does is you push on the brake, push on the button, it locks the two front tires. You let go of the brake, smash the throttle, you can heat your tires up doing a massive burnout without foot braking.
Oh,
This-
okay.
This button will lock the two front brakes so that you
Gotcha.
can heat your tires up before you launch.
Okay. Wow.
Got it here.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
it's go time.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go for a spin. All right, hey, well, Ed, thanks for showing us everything, taking us for a ride. That was awesome. Yeah, guys, like I said before, go try some of that stuff at home with your dad. You know, even if your car's not quite as high performance. Yeah, so guys, checking your tire pressure and checking your fluid levels, that's a great thing you can do with your dad. Go grab your dad, go out in the garage, go outside, you know, find a tire pressure gauge, you know, whatever you got to do. These are some great things that you can do to just make sure your car is running well, make sure your tires are in good condition, and make sure the engine has plenty of fluids. So go try that at home.
All right, that was really great.
Wow. Wow.
I had seen a thumbnail of that video, but that was well done. We've just taken a major step up in this show.
Yeah,
Thank
Alex,
you,
what
guys.
did that feel like?
That was a really fun day. That was definitely, well, it was definitely the coolest car I've ever ridden in. But it was also the loudest car. So he actually didn't even have a radio in there because you couldn't really hear it, even if you did. It was so loud. And you could tell from the video too, but it was so cool. You could really feel the power when you're going around in that thing.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Andy, what do you think of that car? Jack, what do you think? What do you guys think?
What do you got, man?
It's really loud, and I've seen loud cars, and that's definitely up there in the category of loud cars.
So Andy, we brought you on because I don't know a thing about cars at all. and you do. And so Andy's one of those guys that knows about, like, he's a man's man. He knows about everything. Like, Andy's the guy that when he was a youth group sponsor and stuff, you could like put a nail in his, like elbow, and he just, laugh about it. He was that guy, would jump into things and do stunts. It was amazing. But Andy, there's a danger to just not driving a car enough, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a danger, but
Not a danger, but things just wear out sitting. So the cars behind me, just having fluids in them, having antifreeze in them, and having it just sit, everything rots. Plus, if it's like an old car, then you get mice and everything else that get in it, and it's just not good. So best thing to do for a car is to drive it.
we have that problem with the bus. The bus sits around when it's not on the road, and it's the bus costs money in repairs when it's moving and when it doesn't move. And so those are the only two times the bus costs us money, is when it's moving and when it's sitting still. So other than that, it's good. And we're gonna take a virtual tour of the bus here pretty soon, the next week or so, with a video like that. But Andy, you have a unique side gig, right?
Yeah, are we talking about t-shirts?
We're talking about t-shirts. Can you tell us the history of that? I thought it was interesting to read about. I was on your website today reading about it, so I wanted you to share about how you got into this this business, talk about the car a little bit, and what it means to be hanging around the car with Jack.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're in my garage right now, and Jack, why don't you tell them what are the cars behind us?
Well, that is a 1954 Packard, and that is a 1972 Ford pickup.
Nice.
So yeah, the newest vehicle I drive is 30 years old. I also drive a 1989 Ford pickup. But my dad got me into cars. So I guess I'm getting Jack into cars here a little bit, but he loved Packard cars. Packard was built from like 1903 all the way up to 1958. The one behind us is one of the last models that was built in Detroit, and it was his last car. So just being around cars all my life is fun. Like, I was watching the Camaro film, and I'm like, I can feel my heart racing. Just watch. I'm like, I want to call Ed up and see if I can get a ride.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Did you say it was his last car because he drove trucks after that, or did he drive that car at the end?
This was his last Packard. So he owned a variety of cars, a lot of Packards that I remember when I was little, but this was the last one he owned. So he passed away 12 years ago, and we've kind of kept the car mechanically running. It's not restored, but we can get in it and go get ice cream and burn a lot of fuel doing it.
That burns a lot of fuel and a little bit of smoke.
A little bit of smoke, sure.
That's a great father and son. That's 3 generations there that have been in the car. That's a really cool sort of deal. Do you understand? Do you see that, Jack? It's pretty cool to be in your grandfather's car and your dad's car, and someday that'll probably be your car, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe you can get that when you're 16. Drive that to,
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Andy, what's your website called?
Yeah, you mentioned a website. So the cars led me into this side gig. I work as an artist and designer, and I wanted a Packard t-shirt a number of years ago, and you just can't get them because the car went out of business. It's considered an orphan car because the manufacturer's gone. There's no parent company anymore. So recently Pontiac has become an orphan company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Pontiac, they're not building anymore. GM has kind of orphaned them.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So we started making t-shirts for orphan cars. So there's stuff like Hudson, Studebaker, Packard, Nash, all these odd cars.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's a couple on the screen. My favorite one's on the right, and I'm wearing it. It's Daytona Beach shirt. I don't know if you see it or if you see the screen, but that's crazy because it's 1919. A guy set a land speed record in a Packard doing 149 miles an hour. And cars are only 20 years old at that point. Most people don't have a car, and they're doing, I've never gone 149 miles an hour. So it's just crazy speed. So you have, as I understand it from talking to you a few years ago,
Are you have like a license for that, right? The Packard, not just anybody can do those Packard shirts, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the National Packard Club, there are still guys that love these cars, and there's a big following across the United States as well as across the world, that somebody owns a car and they've kept all the things up. So they've kept parts and all those things, so you can still restore and run the car behind me. But they also kept the logos and the licensing that the manufacturer had. So if you're going to print like a Nike t-shirt, you need permission from Nike. Not just anybody can do that. And in the same way, Packard had to give me permission. So that was a pretty cool deal. It's kind of a long story, but just an open door that God just allowed to them say, yeah, we want you to do this. And suddenly I got more Packard t-shirts than I know what to do with.
So you're the official Packard t-shirt designer.
I'm the t-shirt guy. Yep.
And what else? What other cars?
Packard I'm licensed for, but I do Studebaker, Hudson, Nash, Metropolitan. What are some other ones? We store them in Jack's room, by the way, like the wall in his bedroom.
It's cool when your hobby and your passions can kind of bump into your talents and your gifts. So that's kind of a cool thing, I bet.
It's been good. Yeah.
So you have a website, because Andy's an old friend of ours. Andy was at our first retreat ever for Pure Freedom 20 years ago. Our first one ever when we started the ministry. Been friends ever since. So we want to support him. What's your website name? Because maybe we can get rid of some of these t-shirts in the closet.
Yeah, Gas Can Garments, gascangarments.com.
In fact, we're going to buy a shirt and we're going to give one away to one of the chatters tonight. One of the chatters we're going to buy a shirt for. And I have to figure out, since I'm just thinking about this on the fly, I've got to think about who I'm going to give that out to. So maybe the as a team joins us again, maybe the person that chats the most and has the most to say on chat would be a good. That's probably not good, because that will. No, let's not do that. We'll figure it out. Yeah, just people going there like the whole time, just But we're gonna figure out a way to. Maybe we'll just randomly pick one tonight.
What about the person who has the oldest car?
The oldest car
tonight.
Yeah,
The oldest car.
it's a good idea.
I may have the oldest, yeah, or the most miles.
Oh, there you go. Most miles. That's a good one.
Because I'm in that one. My Envoy has 216,000 miles, and it's my hobby to keep that thing rocking. I mean, so I put a new transmission on it at 204,000 miles, and I love it. I'm going to run that thing till it's into the ground. So great. Thanks, Andy, for coming on. Appreciate that. Stick with us, because we want to hear some other things from you. But
there's actually one more. There's one more T-shirt I think that Andy designed that we want to share.
There you go.
If you guys have been to our show, you might have seen this T-shirt, and Andy did that as well. So we actually have a little something for you from the Wheel Destruction. Noel, you want to pull that up?
Wheel Destruction activated. Begin thrusters. Check. East Mode protocol engaged. Check. Secure perimeter. Check. 3, 2, 1.
This is my favorite one right here. That's my favorite smash. One of my favorite smashes of all time, because that TV at the end there is, we hit it twice. We broke the case of it. So that's the inside. The case smashed apart, and we were left with that glass piece, and it was a slick deal. We'll post it on the website tonight. So
Bob, I've got a Yukon here, Michael Birch, with a Yukon with over 200,000 miles on it.
Sweet.
Anybody else got anything more out there at this point?
I see Amber Baker said she's got a Camry 2011 with 237,000 miles on it.
Wow.
So
Okay.
All right. All right.
Anything over 237,000, right? That's what we're looking for.
We're gonna keep it open to see what happens. Where are we headed next here? I know I missed there's only a few cues I have to hit. One of them was introducing that wheel destruction shirt, which
Well, I know you
missed.
said you're really good with tools in the garage.
That's the other cue. I don't know much about anything. I told you, anything that has to be hit is not gonna be, but thank you. I'm not a very handy guy, so I have to surround myself with handy people. Matt is one of those. We call him Matt Guyver because he can, with a glass of water and 3 rubber bands can, propel you into space or something. He's got a lot of things like that. And his kids, Nick and Daniel, they're all boy. They're constantly making things in the garage and posting them. I love to see that. So they're here tonight, Matt and Nick, with things you can do with some duct tape, a duct tape project. Is that right?
That is correct. That is correct. I would say one thing about high mileage vehicles. I don't know how many Subaru fans there are out there in the audience, but I've driven Subarus now for a long time, and I took mine in for service. And the dealer gave me a loaner. It was an old 98 Legacy, and it had over 400,000 miles on it. So that was,
Wow.
I don't expect a t-shirt, but that's a lot of mileage. I mean, that's a lot of mileage.
400,000 miles.
Yeah. So last time we were on, we had a little fun with some Legos, and today we are talking about car stuff and garage stuff and tools. And I have lots of tools in my house and in my garage, but one of our favorite tools by far is duct tape, because how does the saying go?
If duct tape can't fix it, nothing can.
There you go.
There you go.
Cool. So Nick's going to talk a little bit about not only does duct tape fix stuff, but you can also be creative with it, right, Nick?
Yep. So one thing I like about duct tape is it's fun, versatile, and durable, and it lets you be creative, and you pretty much are only limited by your imagination. You can also make things that are useful that will last. Like, there are multiple types of duct tape. It's not just like this ugly gray stuff like this, but it's also, you can also get these colorful duct tapes. So like there are ones like with superheroes and like video game characters on it.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Get them at like your local craft store or hardware store.
It's a lot of fun. It's incredible. That, like you said, limited by your imagination. The patterns of duct tape out there are really, really neat.
So where has your imagination? I'm kind of old school. I haven't seen much but the gray duct tape. It's kind of matches. I get stuff that matches my hair. And so where has your imagination taken you tonight with duct tape?
Well, one thing that we made was a can koozie.
Yeah.
Ah, what does that do?
It's just to keep your can drink insulated.
Ah, okay.
I think we might have a slide of a bunch of little things that Nick, but there we go.
Oh, wow, look at
Talk
that.
through that a little bit. What do you see there?
So we already talked about the can koozie. Another thing, we made a photo frame, and then
Nice.
we also made a tabletop bowling.
And what did we make that out of?
We made it out of toilet paper rolls.
Wow, that's a very valuable bowling set right now. That's probably worth a few $100 right now. A bowling
Yeah,
set.
there used to be more money in the duct tape wallet there, but we had to buy toilet paper, so he's a little lean in the billfold right now.
And the wallet, that's a cool looking wallet. Is that different? Is that red duct tape
Yep.
and white duct tape?
No, it's actually a silver duct tape.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
And that money, is that money made out of duct tape?
No.
That's real hard currency right there.
That's the real deal.
That's the real stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, there are a few techniques you'll probably want to use if you want to start using duct tape once you've found your creative duct tape. And I think Nick will talk a little bit about some of the simple techniques that he uses to kind of help him make some of the things that you just saw, right?
Yep.
Cool.
I love this. This is good.
So one thing that you can do with duct tape is you can rip
Red
it
duct tape.
by length, And you can also rip it by width if it isn't the correct
Look
width.
at that, right in half.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And the other thing, to make larger things, you have to make sheets. So you would take a piece of duct tape, and you would keep putting other pieces of duct tape over it like this until you would have something like this.
Oh, nice.
And then you can flip it over, so then one side's sticky and the other side has the color onto it.
Wow,
And
that's
then
perfect.
if you wanted to make it strong, you can use cardboard or foam board. Or if you want to make something like the can koozie, then you would use bubble wrap.
Ah,
Then you would follow that up with another layer of duct tape.
Yep.
That would give you a nice little flexible sheet of duct tape, and that's sort of the thing he used for the wallet. So where do you get your ideas from, Nick?
Well, we got most of our ideas from this book.
oh my gosh. Duct tape projects.
Wow.
Wow.
So with this,
Where else could you find stuff?
you can also find other things online. Like there are lots of like crazy things you can make with duct tape. Like you can make, like I saw online, a Batman helmet and a hammock, and the hammock goes back to the being durable. But I saw something online that someone was able to fix a telephone pole with duct tape.
Is that your dad fixing that duct tape? Because
I could tell you as a former lineman that would not be an approved work method, but as effective as it may be, I'm guessing you would not see that where I used to work.
that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So
Hey.
yeah, so that's
Yep.
duct tape. It's a lot of fun. I mean, my boys, they'll disappear into the garage. They'll look for rolls of duct tape. They'll look for sheets of cardboard, old boxes. You know, I remember when I was a kid, getting a new refrigerator was a huge deal because then you can go play in the box all day, and they kind of do the same sort of thing. So
I
not
remember when I was
only
a
is duct
kid.
tape useful and handy and help you fix things, but you can really be creative as well.
Yep.
So that said, show us your duct tape creations. TV@borntobebrave.com. Send us some wacky stuff. What's the craziest thing you guys have ever heard duct tape being used for, ever seen it being used for? Send that in the chat there, or send me a picture of the stuff that you're creating, and maybe we'll show some on here if we get some submissions.
Great. Hey, thank you, Nick. That was great, Nick and Matt. That's really fun. That's the second segment the Rigners have done. They've done a Lego one the other night, and that was great too. I had a student in my high school we started, named Blake Bratton, who is now the instrumentalist in Sidewalk Prophets. Blake was a very unique person at Grace Prep, and he came to our sort of prom one year wearing a long Willy Wonka style duct tape coat. It was made completely of duct tape.
Duct tape.
And
duct tape. Nice.
he left early because he sweated so bad he almost passed out. It's not a good clothing fabric. Duct tape isn't. It's versatile, but you don't want to, make sure to have them wear it for a while. But hey, thanks Matt and Nick for taking care of us there. That's really a lot of fun.
Hey, Bob, I got a quick question for Nick. Have you wanted to make the Batman helmet or the hammock?
Do you want to make it? Have you wanted to?
Yeah.
Which one do you want to make more?
Probably the hammock.
Probably
Yeah.
the hammock.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, can we provide him with the duct tape to make the hammock for us and bring it on later?
No. No, I'm just joshing
I
with
got
you.
a company card. I'll make it happen.
How big is this? How big is this hammock going to be? Do we have the ministry funds for a 40-foot hammock? Because
40 foot.
the Rigners, you never know what they're going to do. The next thing you know, they're going to make a car hammock or something. So
might.
yes, we can provide that.
And then we'll see how many people can get in it before it breaks.
That sounds brilliant.
Does that sound like fun, right, Nick? How's that sound?
We're in. We're in.
All right.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, great. Hey, thanks guys. And Wade's gonna tag on to that with a little bit of biblical tie-in to this. So take it away, Wade.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I tell you what, I was so amazed when I watched Ed with that Camaro. I don't know how many of you were just like, wow. the sounds, the noise was so loud. And I texted his son, Austin. I was like, how much time has your dad put into that car? Like, how well does he know it? And he said, since 2001, it's been an ongoing project and ever evolving. So he does a little bit every day. And as I thought about that car, I thought of kind of two things for us to kind of take away. The first one is Ed knows that car inside and out. Like, probably if it didn't sound quite right or something sounded off, we would have no idea. And he'd be like, that doesn't sound right. And he'd make a little tweak to get it sounding good. Like, he knew those tires were low. He knows exactly what every part in that car is because he's restored it, he's rebuilt it. And when we think about that, I think about Psalms 139, which says, verse 13, for you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Guys out there, God has fearfully and wonderfully made you. He's knit you together exactly who he wants you to be. And as Ed took incredible care on that car and has spent hours getting it fine-tuned to be able to drag race it, the same thing for you. God has meticulously put you together to be exactly who he wants you to be, who he wants you to be, and he loves you. And so remember that as you grow older and as at times things just don't feel right, remember how much God loves you and how much God put into making you. The second thing that I took away from that was that car is a drag racer. You notice he had something in it that was made so it would lock those front tires so that it can go straight down the track and he can stay focused on slowing down the car. In 1 Corinthians 12, verses 12 through 31, I'd like you, dads with your sons, to go read that later. But that passage talks about the fact that us as Christians, those who have come to follow Christ, he has gifted us with certain gifts to do certain things in this world, that he has a purpose for us as followers of him. That is a part of the body of Christ. There's things that God has made us to do. And so just like that drag racing car was made to drag race, that's its purpose. It is amazing. You saw it just blow past that car in there. God has wired you in a way, he has gifted you in a way as a follower of Christ to do certain things to impact other people and to help them see God and who Jesus is and to become followers of him and to encourage his body. So during this season when things and people are struggling because people are sick, think about it. Who has God made you to be? How has God gifted you to care for others in this season with the virus and everything going on? But those two things, one, just like that car has been cared for, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. God poured into you and made you exactly who he wants you to be. And then God has made you to have an impact for the kingdom of God. And so with that, I'm going to pull back up Bob here again and just pass it back to you.
Hey, this was a great show. And we have a number of families on here tonight. We end up getting more views afterwards, but it's fun to be live. And Matt and Alex put the show together. They did a great job. This is a really good show. We've been learning every night about what makes it good. I think it was good. I want to see in the chat how you guys thought. I thought it was about the right length and everything and had some neat things. Matt and Nick did a great job. Jack and Andy did a great job. It's great to have students on here with their dads because that's what we're here for. And so thanks everybody for coming on. What was the most interesting thing you learned tonight, Alex? Did you learn anything tonight?
Well, I see that Levi said he's got over 250 Hot Wheels. So that's,
wow,
that's pretty interesting.
We need a picture of that.
And he said this is his first show. So, and he said,
good.
welcome. That's awesome. That's
This
impressive.
is an easy show to get on.
250.
This is an easy show to get on. If you have a picture, if you have something interesting, if you made of duct tape, that kind of stuff. We're a low budget operation. We're looking for stuff.
Yeah.
Look at us. I mean, look at our wardrobe.
Yeah. Speaking of viewer submissions, this might be a good time to should we announce the surprise announcement for the night?
Why don't you do that? I think that was another thing I was supposed to hit, but you do it. I'll be a perfect 0 for 5.
Those of you who have been around with us for a couple episodes, which is what we have under our belts by now, may have seen the Lego feature and may have submitted some Legos for us to see already to tv@borntobebrave.com. In the spirit of this car themed show tonight, we'd like to up the ante a little bit. And you may remember when I introduced this that we didn't quite have everything all nailed down yet, but now we do. we have a prize that we're going to offer for the greatest Lego submission. We're going to throw in the duct tape. We're going to throw in the crazy sandwich. So we're going to judge all of that stuff. We're going to see which one rings the bell the best for us. And the winner is going to receive a Lego Technic Corvette ZR1.
Ooh.
Wow.
See that? That's very cool.
If you'll notice, that is one of the Lego Technic 2-in-1s. You'll see on the left there is the Corvette ZR1. And on the right looks like a rat rod type car that you would have to go online and download the instructions for. We've got 2 different models you can build from that kit. And we found a great photo of a dad and a son enjoying it together. We thought that was pretty appropriate. So consider the ante upped. And now we want to see your submissions. So get out there and make those duct tape creations, make those Lego models, TV@borntobebrave.com, and that ZR1 Lego kit could be yours.
This is like the Oprah Winfrey show now. I mean, we're giving away stuff. It's ridiculous. I mean, what the stuff we've given away at night, I'm not sure how we can afford it. I mean, we have duct tape going to Nick. We have Packard shirts. We have whatever you said, that very complicated Lego set. When I was a kid, we had red bricks. All we could do is make walls and sidewalks and houses. We made houses, right? That's what we made. So
I don't even know how you got Legos back then, Bob, because there was no cars, right? You probably just went on.
That's right.
Take a horse and buggy into town to get some Legos. Or
Matt was talking about refrigerator. I used to love when the Iceman came around with this big truck of ice because we didn't have refrigerators yet. It was a good time. So it's getting old. Jack, did you enjoy the show tonight?
Yeah, I did.
Would you encourage other young people to come on with their dads and
Yes.
join our show?
Yes, definitely.
And are you going to come back with us some other time?
If my dad says yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Good.
Hey, Matt, when is the deadline for those submissions?
Bob's not the only one that misses his cues, is he? And I'm the one that said we need to say when it ends by. Let's say 2 more weeks. Enjoy Easter, and in 2 weeks we will choose a winner.
2 weeks. This is that means the quarantine is going to last 2 more weeks. All right, the quarantine. I don't know how long the quarantine is going to last, but the quarantine's going to last 2 more weeks. When's our next show, Alex, and what's it about?
Our next show is tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. Yeah, we're doing back to back because the whole situation last night. But there's gonna be a really cool guy. His name's Jesse Joyner, and he does all sorts of juggling related things. Because I was looking at some of the pictures and like some of the stuff he does, I didn't even know was classified as juggling, but it's pretty insane. So
really, that's intriguing. I'm not sure what you're talking about. That like, okay? We'll see tomorrow night. And what you want to do, I think, is you want to bring either some some balled up socks, right? He's going to teach us a little bit of how to juggle, which I think is going to be at least how to practice to juggle. But some balled up socks, just the ones laying around your living room. Pick those up and ball them up and bring them tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Mm-hmm. We will be back here with a great show, and we appreciate you coming on board. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Night, y'all.